What if the reason you keep choosing the wrong people is because you are afraid of sitting alone with yourself? Think about it. When was the last time you sat in a quiet room without your phone, without music, without texting someone, and just stayed with your own thoughts? If that makes you uncomfortable, then this book is for you. We are talking about a book that feels less like a lecture and more like a gentle conversation. The art of being alone is not about isolating yourself from the world. It is about understanding the difference between loneliness and solitude. Most people think being alone means something is wrong. They think if you are single, if you do not have many friends, if you spend time alone, then you must be sad. But this book flips that idea completely. It says being alone can actually be your biggest strength if you learn how to use it. The book begins by explaining something very powerful. Loneliness is when you feel unwanted. Solitude is when you choose your own company. Loneliness feels heavy. Solitude feels peaceful. The problem is not that we are alone, the problem is that we never learned how to be comfortable with ourselves. From childhood, we are surrounded by noise, family, school, friends, and social media. There is always someone around, so we never build a relationship with ourselves. And one day, when life becomes quiet, we panic. We think something is missing, but maybe nothing is missing. Maybe we are just meeting ourselves for the first time. The author talks about why silence feels scary. Because in silence, your real thoughts come out. Your insecurities, your regrets, your fears, your past mistakes. When you are busy, distracted, or in a relationship, you can ignore those things. But when you are alone, they sit in front of you, and that is uncomfortable. So, what do? We start texting people who do not respect us. We stay in a relationship that drain us. We scroll for hours. We chase attention. Not because we are in love, but because we are afraid of feeling alone. One of the strongest parts of this book is about heartbreak. When someone leaves your life, it hurts deeply. But why? Is it just because they left, or is it because you built your identity around them? You made them your routine, your happiness, your emotional support. So when they walked away, you did not just lose them. You lost the version of yourself that existed with them. The book gently says something very honest. If someone leaving completely breaks you, then you are depending on them too much for your emotional stability. That does not mean you are weak, it means you forget to build yourself. Another important message in this book is about validation. Many of us do things just to feel seen. We post pictures for likes. We say yes when we want to say no. We accept bare minimum treatment because somewhere inside we think if they choose me, I am worthy. But the truth is different. You are worthy even when no one is watching. You are worthy even when no one is clapping. You are worthy even when you are alone. And the only way to truly understand that is by spending time with yourself. The author suggests small steps. Take yourself out for coffee alone. Go for a walk without calling anyone. Write your thoughts down. Sit quietly and observe what you feel. At first, it will feel strange, but slowly something changes. You start understanding your patterns. You notice what triggers you. You discover what truly makes you happy. You realize you have been adjusting your personality for others for years, and now you are finally meeting the real you. When you become comfortable alone, you stop tolerating disrespect because you are no longer scared of losing people. If someone treats you badly, you can walk away, not because you are angry, but because your peace matters more. When you fear loneliness, you accept anything. When you master solitude, you choose wisely. This is the power the book talks about. This book also explains that real growth happens when you are alone, when no one is influencing your decisions, when no one is telling you who to be. In solitude, you reflect. In reflection, you understand. In understanding, you grow. You start fixing your toxic habits, you start healing old wounds, you start forgiving yourself, and slowly you become emotionally independent. This book does not say avoid love, it says love from a place of wholeness. If you enter a relationship because you feel empty, that relationship becomes emotional dependency. But if you enter a relationship after learning to stand alone, that relationship becomes partnership. You no longer look for someone to complete you, you look for someone to complement you, and that changes everything. Now you choose people who respect you, who support your growth, who add to your peace, not people who fill your silence temporarily. The main message of this book is simple but powerful. Being alone is not punishment. It is preparation. Preparation to understand yourself, preparation to heal, preparation to become strong enough so that no one's absence destroys you again. When you learn the art of being alone, you stop running from silence. You start building inner peace, and once you have inner peace, even in a crowded room, you will never feel lonely again. Let me ask you something. If everyone left tomorrow, would you still enjoy your own company? If the answer is no, then maybe it is time. Time to sit with yourself, time to listen to your thoughts, time to build a relationship with the one person who will never leave you, and that is you. Because at the end of the day, the longest relationship you will ever have is with yourself, and that relationship deserves attention. One of the biggest lessons this book teaches is that being alone is not the same as being lonely. Loneliness is a feeling of emptiness, solitude is a choice. When you understand this difference, you stop treating alone time as something negative. Instead, you begin to see it as a space for growth. Another powerful lesson is that if you cannot enjoy your own company, no relationship will ever feel secure. When you depend on others to feel complete, you become emotionally fragile. The moment they leave or change, your whole world shakes. But when you are comfortable with yourself, relationship become a choice, not a necessity. The book also teaches that heartbreak hurts more when you lose yourself in someone. It is not just about missing a person, it is about losing the version of you that existed with them. So the lesson is simple: love deeply but never forget who you are. There is also a strong message about validation. If you are constantly seeking approval, attention, or reassurance, you will accept the bare minimum. But when you know your worth, you stop begging for love, you start expecting respect. Another important lesson is that silence reveals your truth. When you sit alone, your real fears and insecurities come up. That can feel uncomfortable, but that discomfort is where healing begins. Growth does not happen in noise, it happens in reflection. The book reminds you that peace is more important than company. Just because someone is present in your life does not mean they are good for your peace. Sometimes being alone is healthier than being surrounded by the wrong people. It also teaches that boundaries are easier when you are not afraid of losing people. When you fear loneliness, you tolerate disrespect. But when you value your solitude, you can walk away from anything that disturbs your inner calm. Another lesson is that real confidence is built in private moments. It is built when no one is clapping for you, when no one is praising you, when you are simply working on yourself quietly. That kind of confidence cannot be taken away. The book also shows that healthy love comes from wholeness, not emptiness. If you enter a relationship to fill a void, it becomes attachment. But if you enter a relationship after understanding yourself, it becomes partnership. And maybe the deepest lesson of all is this: you are the only person who will stay with you for your entire life. So build that relationship first, know yourself, respect yourself, trust yourself. Because once you truly master the art of being alone, you do not fear people leaving anymore. You simply wish them well and continue walking in peace. If you like this summary, do comment and share your thoughts.